I was trying to talk the
Wait,
entire time.
what was the issue? Why did the stream go
Oh,
down?
I had the wrong audio source going in.
Oh, okay. Well, I was getting noise on the stream, but
That was just my voice. Like that one was coming through from my microphone, but I wasn't. I had the wrong source for playback. I cycle through like so many different ones. I got my headset. I got my headphones. I've got regular speakers. I got a USB
Whoa.
thing. It's just fucking okay. But we are back here. So, yeah, let's talk a little about the rules for Bronze Bootcamp and Battle Arena as well. So, rule number 1, there is no team speak allowed. We want this to be like a solo queue environment as much as possible. We're only taking out the potential for flaming, which leads us to rule 2. If you do see someone flaming, being toxic in chat, make sure to take a screenshot or have someone else in the game come talk to us with you about it. We are instituting a new policy where if you are found to be toxic in Bronze Bootcamp or Battle Arena, you will be banned for 2 weeks initially, and then banned if it happens again, just banned outright. Because we just want to make this a positive environment for everyone. So do your best to be positive in the game. And number 3 is always just, have fun. We're here to help improve your game, but we're also here just to have fun and get some extra IP. That boost is crazy.
So picking Trinity and the Viger is not the best idea. Trinity struggles with mobility, and if Viger thinks about his stun in team fights, or like Viger Gragas splits Maokai, unless you really think you can split push all game, you're not going to do a lot.
Well, in solo queue in general, like people just don't know how to handle split pushing, which is with the Tryndamere, it's really strong. He's a really good solo queue carry in general.
And in terms of like responding to split push, the blue team doesn't really have a good answer for it. If Tryndamere wins his lane, which he should be able to bully Maokai early.
If he goes in with a lot of rage, like if Maokai doesn't pay attention to his rage when he trades, Tryndamere can win early. But if Tryndamere just like rage stacks, and then Maokai like hits 2 and then sits, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
See
oh, never mind.
Oh, it's Tryndamere jungle. Alright, Tryndamere jungle's pretty awful. Jungling's a lot about like. Oh, so every time I look at like BBC and BA, I talk about like jungler's not impacting the game for the first 10 minutes, and picking Tryndamere is gonna make that even harder. Like he gets pretty low on his initial clears. It's not like the worst, but you have to use your Q to heal a lot, which like slows your clear speed as well because you're not sitting on rage, and his CC is just pretty unreliable, and he just can't really put a lot of pressure on the map.
Okay.
He also needs farm too, and you have Varus, Orianna who really need farm as well, so unless you're like taking Sion's farm, I don't know where you get gold without like starving a carry.
Okay, so now we are in that 3-minute delay period. Let's do a quick rundown of lanes. We talked about this a little bit, but it turns out it's not going to be with Tryndamere. It's going to be Sion versus Maokai.
Farm lane.
Yeah, for the most part. There should be no reason why either of them should die other than
Jungle
from gank.
intervention.
Yeah. Early game, Sion should have the advantage. His Q damage should out damage Maokai's Q. But once Maokai gets his Rod of Ages and Sion starts getting tanky as well, they shouldn't be able to kill each other at all.
Honestly, I'm going to say this for almost all Sion matchups. Sion can kill just about anyone. It's just about how he engages trades. If he walks in with the shield up and the person is stupid enough to stick around, they're going to lose a trade. Sion cannot trade people like crazy just because of his W. And if they let it go off, like it's really easy to tick down, especially once because you only put 1 point in it. But if people let themselves get hit with it, that's 10% of your maximum health and magic damage with 1 rank into it.
Yeah. So a lot of times I see Sion going for Frozen Heart first. Is that a good strategy in this game?
No.
Not versus their team comp. They have 3 AP damage sources on blue team.
Okay, so what should
Well,
he be building then?
Actually,
Spirit
maybe
Visage.
Spirit
Warmogs.
Visage would be the choice.
Visage.
Yeah. Warmogs against the Maokai really wouldn't be great.
It's
But
just his
Stealing
W
percent,
though.
yeah.
His
It's not that
W
much.
and then also the Gragas's W.
Yeah.
Bot lane is completely tilted toward Braum. In 2v2 situations, it's toward Braum's team. Well, toward red. But in
Who's
situations
so much stronger?
where Blitz gets a pick, then they would lose because Braum can remove all of Graves' damage with his shield.
Yeah.
But
That's the
if
thing,
Blitz
it's-
hooks Varus,
yeah.
they win like 100%.
It's a
Conditional.
very conditional lane.
Blitz
has to
and
be.
Graves have a better 2 and a better 6. Like way better.
Yeah. Yeah, as Varus, the problem is you can't really be the one to all engage. You really have to be trying to just poke down as much as you can. He really
You
doesn't
need to
hit
know
his
when
power.
to.
Yeah. He doesn't really hit a good power spike until later on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
just
3 and
because of
6.
his-
He's really strong.
Plus, it's
I think he's got much better level 3 than Graves because he's 3 useful spells. Graves has his W.
I don't know. He has 2 useful spells. Like, what? Graves has a better 3.
I've played them
It
both
depends
a
if
lot.
you're... Well,
Like a lot.
yeah, but I mean, it depends if you're really getting your blight stacks off, too.
Varus just has like the range on Graves too, and he has Braum with him. And Blitz's 3 is kind of mediocre after the overdrive nerf. So like arguing Blitz and Graves is kind of pointless. I mean, Varus Graves is kind of pointless given that like Varus and Braum have a much better 3.
I like to think of it as a Blitz rebalancing.
Yeah.
I think
I love people
Riot
just
needs to
bitching
fix the
about him.
bug.
What bug?
The overdrive like doesn't work like it should, like it said it should in the patch notes.
Oh,
I think
it's
it said-
decaying too quickly or something? Or...
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I have the solution to this. Wait, I need to find it. Here you go.
Just pulled from Reddit?
This champion got changed and now he's bad.
I think if the change went through as it should, it wouldn't be a big deal. But I think it's bugged right now. And that's really not.
I'm glad people are just bitching about it right now. I love it because people. I mean, it's still Blitzcrank. You still have a fucking god hand.
I think it's okay to bitch about a bug. I think if it's that bad, you just shouldn't play him and you shouldn't bitch. But
It's crazy how much his win rate has fallen though, just from that one patch.
Yeah, but that's mostly because Blitzcrank with his W was basically
Zoning.
a one-man army where
Yeah.
you couldn't get into. Basically, Leona's weakness. She's an aggressive champion, but her weakness is that in between her her cycling her spells or her getting to a certain level, you can still harass her out of lane. You can't do that with Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank deals a bunch of damage, has a Q that can potentially basically one-shot you if you get hit with it, and he's in sync with his ADC. And then he also has a bunch of CC and three 1.0 ratios. It's ridiculous what
you're not building
Blitzcrank.
any of those for
but still.
So that's...
The nerf hurt Blitz because in lane, a lot of times when you trade in a 2v2, you're popping W and you're kind of orb walking on top of them to get autos. Now you can only do that for like half as long because you can't orb walk on top of them after you get like the overdrive nerf.
Yeah,
in late game, if you W up to hook someone and you miss, you're like way more screwed because you're really slow.
Yeah, I didn't
They
notice.
hurt us 2v2 a lot.
Okay, so mid lane here. Let's go back to that. Vigar versus Orianna.
Orianna should win.
Ori should win.
Yeah.
Because it's Ori. She wins she can win almost any. She's basically Zed. where Zed and Ori have this really weird. They don't really have a win condition. They can do generally well in any lane, and they can generally win any lane.
Orianna's about break points, not like a win condition.
So the
The shitter mid game's really bad if you don't hit certain items at certain times. Like her conditions, you have to farm. If your CS is crap on Ori, she's terrible.
Speaking of farming, the new Vigar, like that is like you're a mid lane Nasus.
Yep. Except Nothing.
If you do that the whole time, you just lose lane. Like, sometimes you need to trade with it.
No, I agree. But people I know will complain more now just because they're not able to zone as effectively. It's trading his potential to shifting him more towards late game.
Agreed.
Oriana just needs to respect Gragas. The only way she can throw this lane is by getting ganked by Gragas and Viger 6.
Blitzcrank
Also-
should probably be the only one that's leveling up his skills by now.
Sometimes you actually take E when you invade. If you think it's 100% kill and you have like
Yeah.
follow-up CC, you just go for the flash E so you don't like screw it up.
I'm pretty sure Sion was trying to be a little bit cheeky with that blue steel.
Hey, gotta try.
Well,
we got 30
yeah.
seconds until minions spawn.
But I mean, Gragas is almost always going to start that blue side, isn't he?
I don't like Dorn Shield against Maokai. Like, none of his stuff was single target besides
Yeah,
just W.
honestly, on Sion, there's no reason why you should ever go. Well,
There's
there are very
matchups where it
few
works, yeah.
situations where you'd go Thorn Shield over Flash.
I'd
Blue
like to see
team-
Maokai and Sion both looking to start a camp too. I
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing.
I think Sion's trying to get the red buff right now on the blue team.
Yeah, I don't know. He wants to.
But blue team did a good job warding their jungle to know where
Yeah.
Sion's heading.
So sneaky.
Yeah. Is he just gonna go? I mean, take a camp, take wraiths. Your jungler is not gonna be getting it. Okay.
Nope.
No, you're just gonna go right at the top lane. Okay. Yeah, there's probably not a camp that Sion can't do at level 1. So I mean, just pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I usually just take golems.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Gragas Gragas, you want to start the Gromp, not
Yeah.
Blue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is
And you want to be starting either body slam or either barrel roll. I've
yeah.
seen either one.
And Braun, I want to say this to like everyone, and it's that if you have mana to spare, use it. You have regen for a reason, and you not using spells when you have the ability to is kind of just, you're basically wasting mana by not using mana.
for this tournament.
Like Braum should be queuing a lot more, or at least to some extent.
The trend doesn't want to do this. If you're gonna heal with level 1 heal and you don't get a lot from it, it's better to just go into the camp with rage, so you clear it way faster. Probably
Which
end
could
up
be
taking less
bad.
damage if you get an extra crit. Oh, he's gonna try and get it. Oh, he crit. Ward it?
No, didn't get it.
Mm.
Alright, so, and that's Trinity ward, isn't it?
Just Trinity's jungle clear isn't the greatest, and invading somebody's red isn't the best idea. You should just be farming up your own jungle until you at least get a major item on you.
And these kind of situations, Varus, you don't want to be trading in their minion wave.
Mm-hmm.
What did he start, Q or W?
Who?
Varus.
Q? Pretty sure.
Probably Q.
They're both decent. Hey, against this lane I'd go W, but... Sometimes you can only hit the tank safely, and a lot of times against Brave Blitz will try and zone you level 1, and W is just more AD. And lets you sit on your mana. Oh, Gragas is a bit... So it's not the smartest invade by him. Oriana and Viger are both winning their lanes respectively. He's gonna get away with it, but I want to make a note that like he shouldn't be doing this. If Oriana and Zan reacted, he'd probably die.
Safe situations, Tree, Maokai, you should really, you should be popping your flash. Like even if you aren't missing that much health, you really do want that mana, just so you can farm.
Yeah, right now, what Maokai really needs to be doing is just farming up until he has enough for his catalyst, push the wave, go back, and then TP back into lane. Because with that catalyst, it's really going to help him sustain during laning phase versus Sion.
In Bear's trades, if you're still in auto range, it's better to use E to detonate your blight on Blitz there, so that you don't lose the autos from charging Q, and then you can Q like when they run after the trade.
And Braum, you're gonna wanna actually max out your Q usually. You want to be able to harass the Blitz. That's your main issue. You want to be able to put him in a position where he can't hook you without having to fear for his own life.
Do
you really get that much extra from maxing the shield?
You gain its duration goes up by I believe like 0.25 seconds, and it also reduces damage by like 2%.
Okay.
It scales decently, but not enough to warrant maxing it first.
So I've been working with some other players about this, but Ron, you really want to like work on how often you're using your spells. You want to use them when you need to use them, not just because they're up. Well, there's no point to be using his stand aside over there.
I think you said Ron, like R-O-N, not like
Yeah, Ron.
I was confused too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the League of Legends Spotlight. Today we're featuring the champion Ron. The Muggle.
Sounds like a robot.
Ron. This sounds like a very disappointing champion. This is Ron. What'd you do?
This is
stuff.
a big thing too. If you want to play support seriously, to learn how to like prep minions under tower. It's a hard thing to explain. I would just really make note of next time you watch like a high elo support with creeps under tower and what they do.
Yeah, just remember if you're support and if your ADC cannot last hit the caster minions under the tower, just auto attack each caster minion once. That should give your ADC
well, even if they can,
enough
I mean,
damage.
if you auto attack it once, the turret hits it, they can still get it.
This one's
Okay,
weird,
Sion really
Wow.
should have done that.
That was really greedy.
Okay. Yeah.
Could have done it if he would have done it to begin with, but the problem is he let Maokai realize what he was doing and just loop around his turret.
So Gragas here wants to go Stalker's Boots, not Stalker's Ruby. It's kind of happening again, but you just want Boots to impact the map.
Yeah.
Same with Trinity. On Trinity, with your W, I would go Challenging Smite. Slow.
Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
In Trinity jungle, you put a couple points in the queue, but after you kind of get items, you stop maxing it at like 2 to 4, depending on how well you're doing, to max that W faster so you can actually gank. And it's really strong in 2v2s with how much AD it reduces. Same with top, a lot of times you don't max Q to 5, especially in AD matchups, you get W sometimes.
Okay, so Sion has that catalyst. Can't tell what Sion's quite going yet. He has some.
Most likely going Warmogs. I don't understand why people love rushing Warmogs on Sion, but
I actually think
It's fine because like you're still getting that sustain to help you in lane by the time you're getting the item. I agree that like on Sion you're already stacking a lot of health, so it's better to get resistances. But like at some point you're probably going to be getting Warmogs anyways.
this is just kind of an awkward item sometimes, and if you go, it's the same in the jungle, sometimes you get Warmogs if you're playing certain compositions, and when you hit like Warmogs and Merc Treads, AP champions cannot kill you for the next 15 minutes until they get void staff.
Does a good job of Blitzcrank to be zoning out people
Oh.
right there.
The biggest issue with getting an item like general unsigned is usually once the CDR because you have a lot of photos.
The Varus, you don't need the flash there. Your ult's got a pretty long range.
Good.
Not why.
Trinity, you should have honestly activated your ult after being pulled. That's probably the biggest skill that you can learn on Trinity is just like timing your ultimate.
It's better to use it than not to use it when you're in doubt too. Unless you're really comfortable with like the burst you're about to receive.
Alright, good job, Oriana. There's no way you're getting down there, so trying to shove lane.
In this instance, the sheep trinket ward up. I would have liked to see her use trinket wards like over the edge on race there to A, see Viger coming back, or B, land like his QW ult on him when he comes back to lane. He really should have got punished for that.
And bot lane, you guys really need to be abusing the minion wave. There's no reason why you guys should be getting cooked as much by Blitz. And never pin yourself up against the wall. That's where Blitz wants you.
Or you don't want to rush Seraphs either, you want to rush the CDR item.
Yeah, you're going up against an AP mid laner, an AP top laner, an AP jungler, an AP support. There's a lot of magic damage.
A weird game, but when you play Viger on a lot of mids, you want to get Merc Treads. They have so much magic in CC, or you should look at Merc Treads this game. Orcs aren't going to do a ton for her. Don't Trinity, you want to get a warrior instead of Devourer. I don't know anybody who goes Devourer besides Warwick and like KO anymore. Devourer just takes too long to scale and he makes himself like not useful for 25 minutes.
Yeah, that made it weird.
Even like good master use go warrior now.
Vindemir can get away with it because he technically has the fastest clear in the game. And he has that mostly due to the fact that he can just spin over walls. But
it's not just about the clear though.
No,
it's
yeah, I know. That, and you also want the like usually you want other attack speed items because they give you crit.
It doesn't scale as well as people think it does either, because it does magic damage, which is really troll. But like when you get Last Whisper and Sion's like armor stacking, you're gonna wish you had like AD.
The biggest issue, the reason why it's mostly good on Warwick and not other AD melee champions is because Warwick deals a lot of hybrid damage. His Q deals magic damage, his passive deals magic damage on hit, and then usually you also kind of get a wit's end on him. So it's just, you're stacking this weird hybridized damage on Warwick.
Warwick's mostly magic. Same with Mundo. Mundo's almost like an AP jungler.
Yeah, the difference is he also gets like a 300 AD steroid for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think it's only 80.
It scales up.
It increases with how much health you're missing.
Yeah.
It does? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's why they removed Atma's. Not just kidding. But.
Awesome. If they gave it like another stat besides crit, it would be really good. But crit's terrible and most of the champions don't want to build it.
Yeah.
I forgot why it was on why crit was on Atma's, honestly.
Because they reworked it and they wanted to make it build out of avarice.
No, I get that, but I mean like in general, like
I still don't
any
know why
champion.
Avarice is in the game.
So
Like they remove all the other passive easy items, and they leave Avarice. But
The Viger, when you're losing like the Oriana, you want to look at somewhere else for them. You can get away from a lot of trades if you stun, but you just want to make sure you don't get one shot. And Ori she's about to hit level 11 with Ignite. She can walk back to lane and one shot you right now.
Like, this is where Braum's running into the issue where he only put 1 point into his Q, and now he can't trade it all with a Blitzcrank. So basically, Blitzcrank can just have his way with the lane.
So embarrassed when you decide what you want to max second E, but like whether you're killing a tank and how long the engages are. Blitzgraze kind of leads to really fast bursty engages, so in max second is probably better. If you have long engages or you're playing a lot of tanks, that use a lot of sense better. It'll... Wow, that was good. That's so lucky. So yeah, if Ron would have upgraded max speed first, Grace would probably be dead right now. But good Ron more.
Okay. So what can they try to get off of this? Dragon's still down for a while.
Probably
Sean,
just the
they
bot
take
tower.
turret,
Yeah.
Bot tower, ward try. Try and sweep ward red if you can, ward sweeping great. He's not bad though. I don't like the 1 year golem if you have that back one. It's kind of redundant. That's the right idea.
I will point out, top lane is kind of like the epitome of why certain champions are strong, and it's not really because they're crazy strong, but because people get into this mentality. Like Sion can still outtrade Maokai, like really hard, but Sion's not playing super passively in lane, so Maokai can kind of just do as he pleases.
He hits it.
That was great. That was great Sion ult.
If you're playing a Maokai and they don't have attack speed runes, they're probably gonna lose lane. He really needs this to go even in a lot of matchups. So look for that, just click his page, if his attack speed's like 0.66 or 0.70 or something, he's probably not gonna do well in lane.
Which should just be green. You can tell if he has attack speed.
Yeah.
So as a top laner, as a tank, you're probably not going to kill Sion more than likely. So what you really need to do is use your TP and look for ganks with it. Your tower was not in any threat of being taken, so you didn't have to use it to go back into lane. Just take the extra 10 seconds to walk back to lane and miss a few CS. Like, gain pressure.
Pretty sure it's
from
23, thank you. Like Sion's trying to make the map roam.
See, look at this. You might be able to TP with Sion now, but since you TP'd back into lane, you have no pressure bot lane now.
Juggernaut. Learn what the cooldown of TP is too, and always like check Dragon timer before you use the TP. Like if you're using TP and it won't be up again until 2 minutes after Dragon, you probably don't want to use it. Like his TP's down and Dragon's coming in seconds.
Yeah, they Dragon.
Not good. If Dragon's up for 6 minutes, you have a little more leeway, and you can kind of ping me, yeah. But if Dragon's up, you have absolutely no excuse. Go ahead, Dragon.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's turret has been destroyed. I feel this ill.
Respect the fact that Grace can crit you like 3 or 4 times as IE, I guess. I hate that.
I think they should have just backed off. If they still had the opportunity to get Dragon, if they would have backed off right away, but now they're just gonna kind of give it to a blue team.
Yeah, this is really creepy. It wouldn't have been as bad if she hit her ult, but it still wasn't good. So Trinity and Mobies are in like a terrible bind, Trinity. Get Mobies to like engage the realm. Like, they don't help you split first, they don't help you fight. I don't really know why you fight around Trinity.
Yeah, one thing I see a lot of low-level players do is that they prioritize dragon way too much, and they think if the enemy team takes one dragon, it's the end of the world. Red team didn't have to try to take that dragon there. They were really outnumbered, and they lost a lot more than what they could have gotten taking that dragon.
Those supports should have PC
Yeah, but
as well.
they need to get that second dragon power spike.
Ugh. Dragon's so overrated in solo queue.
Dragon's overrated in general up until 5.
I
And
don't know
3.
about that.
And 3. And 3. I like 3 and 5 and that's about it. I don't think 1, 2, and 4
No,
amazing.
It's
1's good, 2 is okay, 3 is good, 5 is great.
Yeah.
cost benefit. Like if it lets you win harder, it's certainly good if you have nothing else to do. But ooh, that's
Well,
overrated.
but it's not. Yeah, but it's not worth like 3 kills or.
Yeah, I mean, if they looked at like cost benefit there, it's like, all right, at the best, I'm gonna get a dragon, and 2 of us are gonna die. At the worst, 2 of us are gonna die. It's like, why would you do that?
Sign, you really want to be building magic resist.
He should have
Heavies,
marks.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you go
I'm
to
not-
Warmox build, you have to go Mount.
I think is like the idea behind it is the fact that Graves is the furthest ahead. So he's trying to itemize for Graves, but in those terms, you honestly should just go something like a GA at that point, or something with like hybrid stats.
To be a
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
dick.
I love getting GA on Zion. I just love it.
You love getting it second though. That's
If there's like if it's in this type of situation,
Yeah.
I don't mind. I really don't. He already has a Warmogs. He has the health to back it up.
I think there's that much. He's just playing Bagger Graves. Gotta get some knocked out.
Oh! Again, didn't use the ult.
Chris? Yeah, someone just died and he's not full. He needs to shoot it early so it's close to the team. Now he's not gonna get much of it probably.
And Sion, you're a
Oh,
heal
okay.
machine at this point. Mid game, your damage is high enough, but you're maxing your
Not
heat
so
back in,
good.
so you don't have the damage to. Okay, good. Sion's doing a good job peeling.
And no one is. Oh, there we go.
Nobody can deal with the knockdown man. So broken.
We
That's
use-
like a good
no, no,
example
no.
of why I like Q-Max. First, it's so hard there.
And
Careful.
Braum, in this situation, you don't want to be rushing a Randuin. You really want to get a locket.
Get banned.
And finishing your support item. You want that shield.
Yeah,
I
against the
think
team.
Banner of
should have-
Command would be fine.
No, they've so much AP and these fights are so long. Anybody who
Well, I mean,
doesn't
you're
flip
still
off
like
it
the
here
only
is a
thing you're
madman.
missing out on is the shield, but they don't have an answer to split push. So if you let them split push go one lane you do a 1-4.
And the Sion makes it out.
I think Banner Fan is a good choice for Red Team at this point.
Because I think the only person that can deal with it then is Graves.
For this early in the game, I don't know. I have a very love-hate relationship with Banner.
I mean,
think
you're still
it's
getting
trash.
the MR for your whole team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I will say Banner is better for early.
And it's wasted stats too, I'm wrong. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems terrible.
you don't need the AP.
Hey, your ult has a not horrible ratio, okay?
A not
That's
horrible
about
ratio.
that's about it.
That's one way of putting it.
that's about it. Alright, so...
Red team did an okay job with upgrading trinkets, so blue team needs to do that.
They like
People did okay farming in the early game, but it's kind of fallen off at this point. Do you guys have tips on how to like, keep farm numbers up in the mid game?
Learn wave manipulation. Anytime you farm a wave, bot or top, you don't want to like snowball it incorrectly so that it crashes like 6 waves in a row. You can't farm. Kind of want to thin it so like it pushes back again in 2 waves.
And also, if you can manipulate the wave so that instead of doing a slow push, it does a really hard push, so that the wave will basically start pushing into your side really quickly, and that's probably what Sion would have won in top, or vice versa.
Our push resets really hard though. If you're not on a cannon wave, it's okay, but if you're on a cannon wave or next to this cannon, you
honestly, at that point, Sion probably should have aimed for Eager, but they probably will get the scrape. Oh no. Brom.
Yeah, Vark's supposed to be there. That was a 3v5, I think.
Oriana is really strong, and she had like good CS, and she gave up a really big power spike by going Saracen to Chalice. I mean Saracen to Athenes. I would just look to get Death Cap and get some really big ults or something, or Hourglass.
I mean, at this point, she has it completed. So
Yeah.
she's getting a good chunk of AP from that.
He really wants Hourglass though, because that Maokai just keeps running at her.
If she gets Cap, her ult and shield will be good. Cap is really strong on Oriana because shield scales with AP but doesn't scale with panning.
The thing I don't like too much, like, I admit Hourglass is still a really good item in this matchup, but like, she does zone use Hourglass. There's no real reason she's trying. Oh my god, never mind. I lied.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
You can do the zone use trick too, where you flash out yourself in zone use. You're really good at Oriana.
Especially with a Blitzcrank. I've seen that enough times where he pulls in someone with the ball and
Yeah.
Yeah, so about Brahm's boots. I wouldn't recommend Lucidity boots on a support Braum.
yeah.
Obi
Braum-
Treads is so much better on him. It helps you ward, get to the location where you want to ward faster, and
I mean, oh yeah, Mobies. I thought you said Tricks.
no, yeah.
Like
Plus it's just a
90%
lot
of the
cheaper.
time you just get Mobies and support and don't even think about it.
Yeah, in more supports, you'll see go, like their first back, get an upgraded, whatever their support item is, then Sight Stone into Mobies.
If you have 800, you should just get those things. But yeah, generally, if you look well, how does this do? I'm gonna do
Blue team double kill.
So Oriana didn't
Man.
get ult off
So
there,
tanky.
and Sion didn't get ult off until the end. If the other team, this comes down to vision control, and neither teams have it, but if they had vision control, they could have actually picked the fight and maybe gotten their skills off, but the other team kind of picked the fight first, and they played reactively, and it's a lot harder to play reactively than when you're actually choosing when you want to fight.
If people are gonna keep like getting if red team is gonna keep getting hit with the Vigor stun, they really need to just opt into Merc Treads.
Yeah, they should all. It's like League 101. I learned when I was like level 25 from like some good players. It's like, oh, you're playing Viger, you probably get marked most of you and then something else. Or you're playing AD carry. Gotta get them. It's a little more punishing with this.
Alright,
stun,
like
but
look
it's still
how
good.
far ahead Maokai is right now. He has Roa,
Which is-
whatever,
Someone actually
Righteous
built
Glory,
Righteous Glory. I love it.
and he's going toward a Frozen Heart.
I actually thought he went Robo because he figured that Gragas would go Glory, but I guess Gragas doesn't. So it's good.
Why not build both when you're that far ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right now, this is all gonna be about Red's positioning and vision control. They can easily come back if they pick off someone, and they can honestly pick people off relatively easily. But the biggest issue is they keep fighting in corridors where Vigor's just like, oh, here, enjoy a stun. And then
Gragas is
everyone
always
gets hit with it.
useful too. Like Trinity is really rough in these team fights. Take it as good.
Like that.
I mean, Red has really good vision control around Dragon.
Yeah.
Good reroll.
And here you go. And these are the engagements that you need.
Whoa.
And a double yes.
Why keep on going back and forth for both these teams?
I mean, that one was just because they got a couple things.
Yeah.
The division control from both teams is really bad. The red team has a lot of wards, but it's still bad control because they're all defensive and they're all on blue side. It's really weird 30 minutes of the game.
Well, look at Gragas, for example. He has 2 stealth wards in his inventory at the moment. That's 150 gold. If he just saved up 100 more gold and upgraded his warding totem, it would be so much more cost effective at this point. And places to ward right now would be around the Baron pit, because Dragon won't be up for another 2 minutes and you don't know if red team's going to sneak Baron anytime soon.
Yeah, they just need to reestablish control around Dragon. Because while Dragon's not like a crazy, we were talking about earlier, it's not like a crazy way to win the game when the buffs don't matter a ton. It's a really good place to pick fights if you want to pick fights.
I mean, if you want that Death Dragon buff, you gotta get all the other ones too. But yeah, I agree. It doesn't have to be like the #1 objective.
Like, we're winning and they're third one, but Dragon. Yeah,
1 minute till Dragon now.
Blue team really needs to get another sweeper. I see like the wards destroyed in these games are very low, although sometimes like teams ward up pretty well.
That was a good flash.
Nice.
Now Trinity are starting to actually get
This comes down to exactly what I said earlier. Like, the team that picks the fight is often teams fight. I guess Blue team have decent wards there. They just need to respect CC and Oriana.
The biggest issue right now is basically because of close comp. Basically, whoever starts the fight is gonna have the advantage. Mostly because
not PT.
both teams can chase down really hard.
He's getting dope, but like not trying to grab us in this fight. He really wants to go
You really just disengage.
I can't tell if that hit Maokai or not.
It did, and Maokai just did not care.
Alright, so one of the big things here is when they ran out. Anytime you run out of a base in a situation like this, you really want to sweep. Know if they vision where you're leaving to do it, I mean, go for it.
Put down your own wards.
Yeah. I mean, you're already there. You don't even have to walk the reward out. Wait for Monday to do it. This is so crazy though. The big thing is like when I jungle, I'm at the point the jungle's at now. Most of the buffs are really worthless at like 10 minutes. So I'm just smiting Wraiths on cooldown at this point. If both of these junglers were smiting Wraiths on cooldown, like the vision control in these games would be so different. Like the Wraith buff is so strong if you don't need help clearing, which now the jungle doesn't anymore.
Or not him and no.
Okay. Alright, you play Trinity and you got Undying Rage up, you need all on Viger Rage there. Like it doesn't matter if you die, you just watch the fights because you play too scared. Team still wins, but...
One champion, we gotta go all in or go home because there is no backing out. As soon as that fight starts, you have to
Oh.
you have to do something.
Yeah, there's a lot of tanks like that. You just can't be like scared if you play tanks.
Yeah, the difference is like tanks have the tankiness to back it up. Trinity, if he does that, he's dead.
Well, sometimes like if you're 20%, you have to go and like W the 80 carry. Even if you die, it's like more important to win the team fight, or so on and so forth. Generally, it's about his ult though. If it was like not high, it'd be the W scenario. I don't know why red team didn't take Dragon. I mean, Baron off the. So what blue team wants to do is they need to check timers and they need to like recognize when the next objective is coming up and really sweep something out or work something out because they're losing these fights and they need to play off either Vigerstone or Blitz Q because those are like two of the best picks in the game, or Maokai W. Like you three are the best picks in the game.
Not to mention a Rise of Glory.
Yeah.
Or you can deep ward behind them and you can pick your engage. The Maokai has TP home guards and he hasn't used them.
Okay. 36
Bears?
minutes in.
What's in that spot there?
Legendary.
The blue team had a lot of advantages, they just never did anything with their established vision. Sometimes if you play on like the back to all game, you're really relying on them to like throw. At some point you need to be assertive and decide what you want to do. So on Oriana, if you want to do that, you put ball on yourself and you ult like slightly before you flash and you flash. So as soon as you land on top of them, you ult. I don't know. I honestly think if she flashed though, she should have just self-ulted. W.
Yeah. There was no point to do it all, though.
No, it wasn't.
Just trying to be
He's on his side there.
No, Maokai, don't give up. You guys can still win this.
Oh yeah. The problem for these past few fights is that Maokai has been going a little bit too ham.
He needs to be a peel bot at this point.
Yeah, because you have your ultimate, you're able to reduce the damage for so much of your team.
Yeah, that's one of the issues with Blitzcrank, is that if you're not ahead or if you can't get a good pick off, you're kind of useless.
Alright, so Graves is going Ghostblade fourth. Generally, if you don't get Ghostblade second, don't get it at all. It's not the best work ever.
I don't
Be
know.
looking
Did
at
he just pick up that?
Yes.
Okay.
You can hover at gold around his 31. But no, he should be looking at either QSS or BT. Probably BT. He needs to just get burst down even if he does.
Looks like he wants to go Randuin on Varus.
And I don't like Banshees and Scion. Like the thing is 40 seconds.
You mean
We
Hurricane?
talked about
Yeah, the
Brunan?
that item.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Randuins.
No, I'm not the Banshees on Scion.
Yeah.
He should have Visage. But yeah,
There's
Hurricane
still
Varus is
no
terrible.
Aegis on the red team.
There's no Aegis in either, is there? No, this is awful. There's so much AP in this game.
You need to be getting Aegis.
These fights are so good for shields, dude.
Red
So when you play Viger, you want to go back and you don't want to like trying to stop people. I mean, if you really think like 100% sure you can and then go damage or something, it's okay. But I think he may have just.
Varus needed to be playing it forward. You're too scared. You said like 5 or 6 seconds full.
Yeah, if I get like knocked out, I get it cleaned up. These fights are so long though. Imagine some rip off it.
Double kill. Aced.
That fight all started just because of Dragon.
Yep.
They had like a Texas standoff where like Ron missed his ult. Makai was like, nah, I can like show you an even worse engage.
Okay,
so
so
being the 5 people.
a better item to get other than Hurricane would be Last Whisper in this situation.
I would have QSS if they're this one. If you're playing Viger,
Yeah.
you
Like
have to have
I understand
QSS.
like the one to get the round, but
He's trying to
kind
troll
of
me.
works with Varus a little bit. But generally at this point better to go with the
Yeah, because you're going to be bashing your head on tanks for most of the fight, so and you want that armor reduction.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I would have liked to see him go like IE, Zeal item, QSS, Whisper or something. BT is really expensive. You could have QSS last defense instead of BT.
I mean, yeah, the fact that QSS is only 1250 gold, it's a really
They have
efficient thing.
Viger. You just have to get it. Because if he like stuns you and you don't have QSS, like you lose the game at this point. It's so big.
What's Viger sitting in it right now? Let's see, 161. Eh. Yeah, far
But
and
it's a-
really far and
Blue team
falling off.
inhibitor is respawning soon.
I like the Mikhail's face a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's pressing both and somebody's in trouble. The building though, he's kind of sitting around for a while. He's been sitting on home guard TP for so long. He either needs to home guard TP or split push with TP. Not really sure. He's really fallen behind on farm because of like all of the posturing he's done as well. Good. Oh, there's like both sides in the background. Alright, so Trinity and G engine is terrible. When you buy it, I mean when it gets proc, your ult is down and you come out and get one shot because you're not fancy. I would like to see Trinity get Zephyr here or something instead. To the Viger and some more damage. Kinda getting CC'd way too long in these fights. So, all has missing vision. If you look at this, Red didn't have vision of like the ward Viger's on that spot and the bush ahead of it. And Graves kind of bursted from there, and so did Viger. Barrett's not having the vision, just got one shot.
No, they got an inhibitor. And that's just turret, almost.
Their team's vision's so good around Baron though. Blue team is nothing. It comes down to the sweepers. They have one sweeper, so red team gets to keep this vision. I never get to see words like this because like, people actually sweep when I play.
Yeah,
It
I
is
mean,
very good by them.
in order for blue team to win, they really need to peel for Veigar. And Veigar needs to stop trying to walk up to the tanks and take free damage from them as well.
Vigor,
He has hourglass.
you are in a front line, Vigor. You're
I
more
don't
like
like
made out of
igniting
paper
Veigar.
mache.
He had Ghost. He'd be doing so much better in these team fights. I love Ghost Veigar. Or Heal. Against Orianna, it's not like you're gonna kill her in lane.
I get what Braum is trying to do. I just don't like it.
So Gragas here, I don't like the second glory.
He's
You don't
going-
have an armor item.
He's going too much tankiness without any utility to that tankiness. Like, there's no reason why he should be building a Spirit Visage
Back to
or
the
a,
boys.
or a Banshee without building a Locket or... Well, I'd still say a Locket's better at this point of the game. Because he just needs to be providing more to his team.
So Gragas, you want to park Banshees there.
He has
But
selfish
you don't want
items.
to come back.
As a
Backdoor
support-
Scion.
As a support, he has really selfish items. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go double glory and not armor though. That's really rough. Obviously stuff, man. They're mostly AD too. Oh god, so I'm going Ghostblade, please.
No, I think he's going Static Shiv.
Oh, okay, that's even worse.
And honestly, in this situation, Blitz would have wanted to also go a Locket, because most of the damage is magic damage, especially because that Trinity decided to optimize for a, well, not optimize, but go toward a Devourers.
Well, it's not getting
Even-
that much. He's only getting what?
Yeah, but that Varus deals a bunch of magic damage.
Yeah.
So does Ori, so does Scion, and then so does their Braum.
I bet it's pretty close to 50-50.
Having the frozen heart on Mount. Oh, did he pick that up early?
Yeah, Gragas should have lost it, even if Blitz doesn't.
I'm kind of confused why they're focusing the Blitz over the
Ouch.
This
Over
comes
the
down
Vigor?
to they have two inhibitors down and they're pushing. When they back, they're going to get Elixirs. Orianna's the only one that did that I can see.
like right now they're red side's getting really greedy.
I should have.
Might throw because of like what they're doing.
But the Varus, you can't tell me one. Plus with the Hurricane is so good.
This Veigar though.
Yeah, a lot of it is because they're doing these broken engagements where like some of them are splitting off. Like Trinity was in their like near their mid inhibitor while there were like 3 or 4 people bot lane. They might, Winions might do this, but I doubt it.
Yeah, this
Whoa.
works then. They need to just get the dragon and try and close. Good job, Orianna. I would get up there.
Oh, Nox.
So on 80 carry, unless you really need home guard or so on and so forth, this is kind of the point where you want to be getting Fear. Fear is really strong. Kind of why I don't think like Zephyr can come back until Fear gets nerfed or changed.
Not really sure why Varus opted to like completely disregard the idea of armor pen, but
I like that you got the Kyo stuff. I just think the Hurricane's trash.
Well, I understand, like, since if he does get his blade stacks off, it is worth it.
It's really hard to get white stacks off on like 3 different people in a team fight and still hit the correct targets.
Oh my god.
Blue team's inhibitor is
Yep,
responding soon.
that's Veigar.
peekaboo, you're dead.
So you want Hourglass. Alright, so this is really bad. The support and jungler can not kill anybody. Yeah, it's like, oh, we signed him wrong. Let's fight him. Kill him with all of our damage.
Like I said, yeah, they're gonna just be throwing with the way they're engaging.
Daddy should on Sion, like,
Yeah.
why that?
Just in general, I don't understand why they're splitting off, trying to split push other lanes.
If I were Graves right now, I would probably sell my Ghostblade and probably get a Bork right now. Because Ghostblade doesn't really do a lot late game compared to other 80 items.
I'd get BT.
Like, I don't know. I think versus a Scion and versus other tanks, Bork on Graves would be pretty optimal damage at this point versus a BT.
He's more survivability, he's more front-loaded burst. Bork is only better if you get autos. I think if you can just stay at 100, and BT will really allow him to do that, and then get like a good ult on Warrior, Varus and distance.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're 15 minutes into the game, in a game that should have ended at least 10, if not 15 minutes ago.
Honestly, Red Team just needs to wait for Baron to get up, take it, and start taking all the inhibs.
That or the timers here. And
they
should
also
know
should be considering actually team fighting instead of going off by themselves and trying to 2v5 for the whole game.
Yeah, blue team needs to come up with a good plan though, and Baron and Dragon are on similar cooldowns. So if red team doesn't play it correctly, they need to know which one they're going to go to and which one they want to keep up. And react properly. Like, they're probably not going to be able to stop both, so like a trade's better than nothing and then play off that. Oh. Or just get a pick. You know you're gonna have time reading to get a pick before objectives come up, so that works as well. But they don't have sweepers, so they can't pick if red team's warding at the jungle.
Also, I noticed that you have a Bomby Cinder Scion, which indicates that you're probably either going to get the jungle item or Sunfire Gate.
Well, you can't get the jungle item. You need Smite. You have to have Smite to buy jungle items now.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
But Randuin's would be a whole lot better for Sunfire at this late in the game.
I'm gonna say this, like, I really hate Sunfire. Like, it's just a really bad version of Cinderhulk right now.
Vigar's got his priorities straight. See Ori, kill Ori.
Yeah, I don't know. Their engagement was completely broken. Trinity tried to go do a XPK while 3 tried to actually team fight, and then Scion went off.
Okay. At this point in the game, what should blue team do? Right now, timers are at 1 minute. At the moment.
They should take Dragon down.
Yeah, they should take one or the other.
Because that denies them both for 7 minutes. Too.
Honestly, they should. Well, they can take both.
Baron's the more important.
But
though.
I would. They're in a
Dragon's
really. If they can't do both, they're in a really bad spot because 5th Dragon is stronger than Baron.
Yeah, they wouldn't
but
deny
either way, they can seal the game with either or. That's the biggest issue.
And if they get Baron, they already had a hard time pushing against it.
And they're trying to rush an inhibitor. They honestly shouldn't be doing this. There's no reason why they shouldn't be trying to take like all the other objectives instead of taking a turret.
Vigar's Elixir Sorcerer, he should have been autoing this soon. But yeah, this is really bad because now they have to recall and Baron and Juggernaut in play.
And now this gives Red Team the opportunity to easily take any objective on the map while knowing that blue side can't contest it.
Yo. Oh, this is probably gonna be the final shot. Oh, Makai Scion TP thought.
Baron just wants to go for the Nexus.
Alright, that's game. So this is exactly what you're talking about. Like, blue team needed to pay attention to objectives and pick Dragon or Baron.
Yep, and then the end.
They didn't. And not only did they not recall, they stayed and died.
I'm not quite sure why Vigar was trying to like do the dragon there.
The Trinity Broodweiser builds mostly early game thing, and Black Cleaver's not the best one in there. You should have been looking at TD or something. Or Zephyr.
Yeah.
right.
AP tournament.
That game
So,
was dragged out.
yeah, no kidding. All right, that's game 1 of Bronze Boot Camp. We'll have another game coming up here in just a second. Stream's going to go down, and lobby is going to open up with invites.